Well, hello, good people of YouTube. Today I am coming to give my version of my October reset. I've been seeing this a lot online, this trend for the October reset videos. And so I took it upon myself to kind of read up on what it's about. And it kind of lines up with my final quarter goals for 2025. Like the things that I'm trying to get done or trying to get in the habit of, trying to start off the new year on a good foot, on a positive vibe. So I had already been thinking about those things. So I was like, okay, I should just make my October reset video. So here I am. I'm going to talk about some of the goals that I have for the remainder of 2025, and then some of the goals that I hope to take over into 2026. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So, are you finding there are some things that you may have had on your list that you wanted to do in 2025? You really never got to them. You really kind of pushed them to the side. Maybe you started off in a good way. Could have been going to the gym. Could have been reading. Could have been all of these things that you said, okay, in 2025, this is what I'm going to focus on. And you kind of fell off track with it. Well, the reset time is the time for you to get yourself right back on track. Get yourself right back on track with those things that you had wanted to do, but maybe you just didn't get to, or they just fell through the cracks. Or it just may be some goals that you want to achieve before this year is out so that you can start the very next year on a better footing. So these are the things that I've written down as far as my goals for 2025. I do have some financial goals for 2025. I briefly covered them in a previous video. Maxing out my IRA. I've already made the call and the appointment to do that. I'll be going in at the end of this month. I'm going to put a set amount in my car fund that will get me to a $10,000 goal for the end of year. I set an $8,000 goal, so this will actually have me exceeding the goal that I placed for myself. I'm very happy about that. Even though I don't think I'm getting a car anytime soon, I don't even foresee myself getting a car next year. Even though that was the year I had planned it, I'm kind of reworking the things that I'm thinking about for 2026. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I had talked about putting $500 into my brokerage account as a lump sum. I'm still going to do that. I actually had switched it to putting $1,000 in that account only to get my new escrow statement, and I was $500 negative, that I needed to put that money into the escrow. So our escrow went up this year, which means our mortgage will be going up again by about $45. So that's the sucky thing, honestly, about home ownership. Your mortgage doesn't go up, but all these other extra expenses can go up, which will then affect your mortgage if you have an escrow. If you don't have an escrow, then you don't have to really worry about these things if you're paying in a lump sum. But still, they still have to be paid whether you have an escrow or not. So instead of putting the $1,000 in there, I'm going to do the $500 as I initially thought into my brokerage account. And then I'm going to take an additional $500 and put it into my escrow so that it covers the remaining amount that I need there. That's really all the financial goals that I had for 2025, because I was really trying to kind of have a chill year as far as financial goals. I wanted to give myself kind of some breathing room and allow myself to kind of enjoy life a little bit more, do some things, and not be so hyper focused on saving. Although I probably will always be hyper focused on saving because it's just in me to be that way, but not so super focused that that's all I'm thinking about. Like that gets old really quick. gets old and tired. So those are my financial goals. Max out IRA, put in $1,850 to my car fund to make a total $10K for the year, and then put an additional $500 into my brokerage account. I don't know what I'll be investing in yet. I have not decided. I'm just kind of looking through and trying to decide now what I will be investing in. And then $500 into the escrow account. Now, I do have some things too that I want to do physically. I really want to try to eat a little bit cleaner. I do not have a bad diet at all, but there are things that I could improve on. I could eat more whole foods. I could just think about what I'm putting into my body and how often I am a nighttime snacker. That's my thing that I really want to get out of. So I'm really going to try to get back to my intermittent fasting that I was doing and just stop eating at a certain point in time in the day. No snacks or anything after a certain time. So that's something I really want to get back into. I also want to start incorporating some stretching routines into my everyday exercise. I have already started that. I've been doing that now for about 2 weeks, where I am doing dedicated stretching for 10 minutes 2 times a day to just improve my flexibility. I think when I found out about my back injury, or my back condition, it's really not an injury, it's a condition, I became very scared of certain things and not really stretching my body, which I don't know why I was scared of stretches, because stretches are good for you. Like, I'm not going to hurt myself in that way. But I let myself get very inflexible from not stretching as much as I really should and as much as I used to. So I'm going to get back into incorporating stretching routines. Like I said, I'm doing that twice a day. I do it once in the morning and once in the evening. It's a great way to wake up, by the way, to just do a quick stretching routine. It's been amazing to start my day. I just get up, I do my stretches, take my shower, get my coffee, start my day. So I kind of like it so far. And then I want to, I want to get back into my hobbies. I really want to start reading more again. I do read regularly, but it used to be something that I really hyper enjoyed, like did it all the time, and I don't anymore. That was the one good thing about 75 Hard, is having that mandatory reading time. And it was something that I had hoped to carry over, and I did not. I won't even lie, I did not. So I want to get back into doing that. I want to get back into reading and making that a scheduled thing, or something that's just kind of incorporated into my life all the time. Like, so... But I also don't want to put too much on myself. Like, I don't want to have everything so regimented all the time, because I have a tendency to do that too. It's like, do this many times a day, do that this many times a day. I'm really regimented, and that can be quite stressful because you feel like you're failing when you don't accomplish those time periods and all that stuff. So I just need to find a way to get back to reading more, and get back to some hobbies that I used to love to do that I'm no longer doing. And I really want to get back to my hobbies and reading, and that's just for my mental health, my personal growth, things like that. The number one thing that I want to get back to is being kinder to myself. I'm extremely hard on myself, extremely critical of myself. Lots of times my husband will be like, people could say anything and you just don't even bat an eye to it. I'm like, because nobody can say anything about me that I haven't said to myself probably 20 times worse. So other people, they don't affect me as bad as the things that I say to myself. So I really want to be kinder to myself and appreciate myself more. And I say this all the time. I've said this multiple times in many videos, but I think I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to say it as many times as I need to say it until I can make it a habit. Because that's one thing, is saying it out loud and then trying to put that into action. And the more times that you continue to put that into action, the more it will stick. So maybe me saying it over and over again, trying over and over again, eventually the habit will stick. That's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed. And then 2026. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do in 2026. I'm telling you, my first thought was pay off the house. That was going to be my new goal. And I was going to attack it just like I did that student loan debt. I was just going to attack it and knock it out. And then I thought to myself, well, you're already paying an extra mortgage payment a month. You've already reduced your effective interest rate by doing so and continuing to do so. Do you want to do that and put that money toward the mortgage, or do you want to use that money and invest more? I'm kind of up in the air about what would be the greater return for me at this point in time in life, and simultaneously knowing that this is not my forever home. This is not where I'm going to be long term. So I'm kind of thinking about that in my brain. I have not decided what I will do as far as that's concerned. Whether or not I'm going to just go full speed ahead into the house, or whether I'm going to just try to up my investments and work it like that. I'm not really sure, but I will think about it more. So I will say for this October reset, I will place more time, thought into that to decide whether or not it is something that I will be doing, which way I'm going to go as far as that's concerned. But I think those are the things that, those are all the things that I've written down for my reset or my goals for finishing out this year and going into 2026. The one thing I will say is I do want to go into 2026 with a clear mind and shut out the noise of the world. It can take its toll on you. Not that I want to be oblivious to what's going on in the world, but I just want to keep my heart and mind pure, if that makes any sense. Because there's some things that are just completely out of our control. And I see a lot of people just like going off the rails. And it's very important to keep your mental and your peace as much as you can. And so that's what I want more than anything, because these goals are great. They're great. But above all, probably that, keeping my peace and being kinder to myself are the number one priority for the remainder of this year and going into 2026. So that is all I have. If you have watched this far, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I will be back again soon. I'm not sure what I'll be doing next, but I'll be back. So if you can, please like my video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.